First thing I want to show you is not one of the mistake things. It's actually a little extra that we will see reflected throughout this masterclass. Now, I love stationery, and I'm sure you do too. And as a nerdy early years teacher, I like to color code stuff. And so I've really been thinking about how can we differentiate. This question of differentiation and adjustment, and they are different, has come up quite a bit. So I was thinking, well, how can we be really intentional and lighten our own cognitive load? Now, what you're seeing here is the seating plan for the mat. And we know that there are just children who should not sit next to each other because they're the little distraction squad for each other and everyone else. So having a set plan on the mat can be really valuable and create the environment that you need in order to help your children focus and engage. But we also know that because children do move at different paces, that there's going to be times when you have to differentiate some of the content of what you're teaching. This plan helps you do that. So this is a magical class where everybody starts with J. And I just want to say that any resemblance to a real person is purely coincidental if I use some names. So we have our yellow post-it notes. I'm going to call them the yellow group from here on in. They're the kids who we've identified, and we usually do it pretty early, that we've identified as possibly needing some additional support. Maybe they need more exposures to things. Maybe they struggle with attention. Whatever it might happen to be, they need you a little more than the others do. The blue group, they're our high flyers. They're the racehorse kids who have great memories. They pick it all up. They're hungry for more. They look at you and go, what's next? Because I'm remembering everything you just taught me. And they're the ones who you are going to extend. It's not just about saying, well, oh, you're good. We don't need to push you at all. We want to be able to meet every child and move them along. And our pink group, that is the group who are just kind of our standard kids. They're all pretty much learning at the same pace and the same content, and there's our core students right there. So when I refer to the yellow, the pink, and the blue group throughout this masterclass, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm going to show you how your resources can reflect this planning to support differentiation and or adjustment. The second way that you can use this is in a seating plan for desks. And yes, I've got them in rows. My blog is called The No Nonsense Educator for a reason, and I know it's old fashioned. I want you to know I'm also Mrs. Play-Based Learning, and doing that well is important to me. But when we have explicit content to learn, making that as easy for students as possible is important. So if the only thing they have to look at is you and not other kids on the other side of the table, life is going to be easier for you and for them. But I've got my yellow kiddies right at the front here because I know they're going to need more support. But I've also got my mate Jack, and Jack sometimes struggles with attention. So academically, he's working on the same content as the rest of the pink group, but attention-wise, he tends to get distracted pretty easily. So I'm popping him at the front. My girlfriend Jen at the back, and the kids laugh when I say that, go, come here, girlfriend. My girlfriend Jen at the back, she shows real promise. And while, yep, she's working currently at the pink group, with the pink group, I suspect that with some support and encouragement, she's going to pop up to that blue group any minute. So I'm putting her next to Jill so Jen can sort of start to move along. The third way that I'm using these post-it notes, and actually in practice, what you can do is you can put the kids in the groups, color code them, set them out on your wall or your desk exactly as I've done here, and take a photo of it. Now, only you see this. The kids don't see this. Once they know where their spot is, they'll remember. But this helps you not have to remember every time what it was you planned. You want your focus to be on instruction, not these administrative kind of details. So this would be potentially if we're working in small groups. Now, there is no rule that says that working in small groups means you have to have a rotation. And I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit later on in this session. But I've just, for the ease of organization, put them in kind of the groups. Now, my decision making in my fictional class around how I split the pink group may be around something like, who is working at a faster pace? Who does my instinct tell me I can be moving on a little quicker? because maybe that group with Jen and Jax and Jane can join the blue group. Maybe I can end up with a bigger blue group. It really depends on the students. Maybe the group with Jessica, Jemima, and Jacob, maybe they need me to have reduced content just a little bit so that I can really target their needs very specifically. We know that even if we were to stream every class in our school, there's still a range. There's always a range. And so being able to make those decisions based on what you know about kids is important. Now, if you're wondering how do you decide on the groups, well, you can see here that we have a graphic here for reading groups, and I shared this in a blog post a few weeks ago. Instead of basing these groups on reading levels, by basing them in skills, we're making sure that our teaching is really targeted to help children build the skills to bring their reading along.